Alright, on to the top 4. I'm on the play. I'm playing against Amazonian, who we drew. This is the player that I drew with in the 5th match, and then I was able to win in the games that we played for fun, so hopefully we're going to have a repeat of that here. They are playing red with a small black splash, mid-range / control. This hand would really love to draw a Wildgrowth Walker, but I don't think this is mulliganable by any means. These Explorer creatures are not stellar against her first strike creatures, so I think I actually keep that there. I have 4 lands in my hand already, and these Explorer creatures are hopefully going to propel me into some more lands here. So if they have like a 2/1 first striker here, that'd be kind of bad for me. Just to Rick's Matty, sure. So we're going to trade off. I'm going to trade off pretty aggressively, I think, here. I'm going to start by attacking before I let them see any information about what we have going on. Jadelight, because it's resource efficient. This one's probably going to dig for some lands. Hello, Jellyfish. Nah, I'm just going to keep all the fish here. I think this is a matchup that comes down to them gumming up the ground some amount of the time. And I think having a bunch of Krasis in the air is great. The fact that I have 5 creatures already, or 5 mana already, means that hopefully we'll be able to start playing these out for 4 before we get down the line here. Perfect. So they actually know about these 2 lands, but I'm going to go ahead and hold on to these just because the Steam Vents comes into play tapped. Otherwise, it costs me life. So I'm giving up a little bit of information, like letting them know one of the 2 unknowns in my hand, but I think it's worth doing so that way I save the 2 points of life in this matchup that could otherwise be aggressive. Because I have 3 creases here, are they about this land? They did miss a land. Alright, so I was just going to jam my Krasis here, but I'm actually going to go ahead and play Hadana's Climb, because Hadana's Climb here with the next land guaranteed in my hand means that I can go 6 land, Krasis for 4, Hadana's Climb, make it a 5/5, and then it doesn't die to Lava Coil, which is great for me. They don't really have any hard removal in their deck. And the Hadana's Climb flipping over also means that with this land drawn, I'm going to be able to play a Krasis for 6 next turn and just really snowball my advantage here. So they'll need 2 removal spells to cut through this Krasis. If they attack, I'm not going to block. They could have Carnival Carnage plus a Lava Coil. That's fine. I'm going to 10. I'm going to shock to 8, go back up to 11. Nope, don't even have to shock. I know about the next Krasis, so just get to slowly bury them in cards from our giant monsters. Up to 7 cards in hand here. I actually just have lethal with Colossus plus Climb next turn. So if they tap out without killing my Krasis, we do just get to kill them. Yep, they're dead. This deck just plays out like a combo deck sometimes. It's great. For those of you that have played Modern before, I often describe the Winged Temple as a Temur Petal Rage in this deck. Just... This is my 2020 flying monster. Rawr. Alright, they had a little bit of screw there. We get to go ahead and bring in Lava Coil and Thrashing Brontodon and Disdainful Stroke. We get to go ahead and cut all these Llanowar Elves. I know Collision there was okay, but I actually go ahead and trim this in this matchup because the only flying creatures that they have are Rekindling Phoenix, and that one comes back, so I'd prefer not to have that. And then we trim Zegana here as well, because she's a 4-drop that just dies to Lava Coil. Yeah, I think that's the trim. I could maybe see trimming a Climb on the draw. Yeah, you know what? I'm actually gonna trim a Climb on the draw instead of Zegana. Having an extra blocker on the draw seems really important. I think this is one of the many matchups where even though we're both kind of mid-rangey and draw cards, I think they're the aggressor. So I just want to do my best to not die in the early game. And Climb's a card that doesn't really help us not die, especially on the draw. It's a 3-mana card that doesn't always impact the board. Like, you can make one of our creatures a little bit larger, but it doesn't necessarily help us stunt their aggression, where like a 4/4 will. So we'll be on the draw for this game. That's sweet. I think Wildgrowth Walker is our best starts against them, so not having that. They did stumble. Yeah, this seems super reasonable. I don't have an Explore creature to pair with this Wildgrowth Walker, but I have this Incubation Incongruity. And again, if you're going to play this deck, one of the things that you need to learn to do to recognize with it is identify when your incubations need to be saved as removal spells and when you're triggering them into creatures. So definitely looking for an Explore creature here, and we find exactly that. So Incubation just adds a huge amount of consistency to this deck. Just between the Incubations and the Explore creatures, you can almost always find what you're looking for. Duress. Really unfortunate that we drew the other Incubation here. I wonder how many Duresses they boarded in. They have 4 Duresses in their sideboard. Drawing Wurm right after is pretty sweet. We'll see if they have a Lava Coil here or not. If they don't, the Wildgrowth Walker threatens to run away with the game very quickly. Yeah, I think I'm just doing this. This isn't resource efficient. But I think it's right to just say, hey, do you have another Lava Coiler, or is this Wildgrowth Walker going to run away with the game? There's also, like, if they have Lava Coil and Rekindling Phoenix, they have to choose, like, do they Rekindling Phoenix as resource efficiency this turn? Or do they have the status statue here? Nope. Alright. Play the Jadelight Ranger before we play our land in case we find a tap land. And we did. I'm going to go ahead and attack for 3 here. We have the health advantage at the moment. If they block plus have a shock there, I'm a little bit sad, but the auto pass are actually giving up a little bit of information there. The way the Jadelight Ranger and the triggers resolved, it felt like they didn't have a removal spell. That's very good for them here, so kind of getting punished for my aggressive attack. I'm just going to go ahead and take 4. I think we're still okay because Wildgrowth Walker's a messed up card, but yeah, still okay because Wildgrowth Walker's a messed up card. Is a 3-4 better than my average draw here? You know, I don't think it is. Like, I have these Growth Chamber Guardians to, like, pop off in the way here, too. I'm gonna go ahead and attack with this 2-1. I don't think they want to take this trade, and I'm gonna leave the Wildgrowth Walker back on defense, so that way they don't have good attacks this turn. I think, again, we just want to, like, turtle up a little bit. As this game goes long, I'm more likely to win, so I want to just be a little bit conservative with my health total. They had a small window where they could have killed the Wildgrowth Walker and didn't. They need to kill the Growth Chamber Guardian this turn or it's going to start popping off as well. We have the Ravager Wurm to apply a ton of pressure to them next turn. I wonder if they have... They keep mousing over my graveyard, so I wonder if they have the... I wonder if they have their 2-1 here. If they have their 2-1 Dire Fleet, Daredevil plus a land, they could replace my Wildgrowth Walker with a 3-3. They drew a shock. Okay, that's pretty good. Rips Maddie, turning their last card into a... Yeah, Eldest Reborn is kind of mediocre on a board with my 2-1 here. I assume we're just going to see the 1-1 attack. And nothing else. Yeah. I'm going to attack with this 5-7. And then I'm going to go ahead and play the Wurm out as a 5-6 and eco 3-3. So they could have put a bunch of blockers in front of the Wildgrowth Walker, but I was pretty okay with that because then the rest of their board is done, and I have a Ravager Wurm. Okay, so I assume my Wurm's getting replaced by a 3, or my Wildgrowth Walker is going to get replaced by a 3-3 here, I'd imagine. And then now we're on the place where just like any Explore creature or Krasis would be great. They don't really have good attacks. Dire Fleet, Daredevil, and other First Strike creatures are the reason why I elected to kill their Chain Whirler instead of the Legion War Boss, just because multiple First Strike creatures in combat get incredibly annoying incredibly quickly. I'm going to go ahead and attack with both of these because they can't get First Strike down. And then we'll play Growth Chamber Guardian, pop Growth Chamber Guardian, play another Growth Chamber Guardian, just put a bunch of really large dorks into play very quickly. They don't have any sweepers in their deck other than Fiery Cannonade, and Fiery Cannonade on this board is not particularly good for them. So next turn I'm attacking with a bunch of stuff that can attack into their 2-power First Striker. I'm trying to think what their best possible draw is here. I was just about to say, I think it's Siege Game Commander. Gives them a lot of blockers when they need it. So my best possible draw is like Krasis at any point after I have 6 lands in play. Sure, why not? Magic's a silly game sometimes. So I have 7. This is my 8th land. I'm going to start by attacking like this. I'm going to start by attacking like this. This might cause them to block my Growth Chamber Guardian with a first strike creature, but I think I'm okay with that. If they want to pop it off, I think there's a good chance they just jump block a lot of this stuff. And if they do force me to make my other Growth Chamber Guardian a 4/4, I like make it a 4/4, get another Growth Chamber Guardian, play that Growth Chamber Guardian, and play Wildgrowth Walker. And like I'm at 27 here because Wildgrowth Walker is a messed up card. So we get to just like keep on trucking. And if they don't make me pop off the other Guardian, I get to just like play a land. Oh yeah, sure. That block seems good for me. So I do this, get to grab my last friend. We eat a bunch of their stuff. We trade here. And then I'm going to play this. And I'm actually just going to go ahead and shock this in and just make this a 4/4 now, so that way they can't kill it with a sieging activation in response to me activating it next turn. Yeah, that's the game, right? Yeah, it looks like the game. Oh, the cheeky own way out. Good games, Amazonian. Good luck in your future Magic. Alright, sweet. Playing Insultite or Tokens in the finals. Haven't played either of those matches yet, so thanks everyone for hanging out today. Hope you're having a good one.